Back alongside royalty here in Las Vegas, Brent Musburger, and of course Jimmy Vacarro from South Point. Gentlemen, it's great to have you guys here again. And again, we all cannot wait to figure out what's going to happen in the World Series between the Astros and the Phillies. And one man in particular certainly cannot wait to see the outcome. That is Jim McIngvale, but you know him as Mattress Mack, who's kind enough to join us now. Mac, we had to bring in some of your friends here with Brent and Jimmy to talk about this because you made some very astute bets on the Astros before this season began. I got to think there's no shying away right now, right? You like where you sit.
You got Brent and Jimmy there. You got two Hall of Famers, absolutely.
Oh, man.
Let me give you the quick history on how I met this gentleman. As I said earlier, with the racket that I'm in, I've got a chance my whole life on meeting people who obviously think to some degree the way that I think also. Mm-hmm. And Brent's right here. And this guy right here, I'm standing behind the counter right over there in the sports book. And all of a sudden, this gentleman walks up and says, "Are you Jimmy Vacarro?" I said, "Yes, Sam." He said, "We got to talk a little bit." I said, "That's fine." He said, "I want to make some bets." I said, "Oh, that's fine." And so he said, he gave me the figures. I said, "Well, wait a minute, hold on. We're talking, what were we talking, Jim? 5 years ago, I think it was the first time he popped in, when there wasn't even betting on the sporting events across the country." Mm-hmm. He said, "I'm going to bet," I think he said 500,000. And I said, "Well, that's going to be a little tough." And then me and Chris, we got together for about 30 seconds and said, "How about 300,000?" And we gave him the bet. So what I'm trying to tell you is that was the beginning of a great relationship. Let me tell you quickly about someone that bets that kind of money. When you get a big player coming in to whatever to make the maneuver, whatever, they're a pain in the ass. Everything has to be their way, their way, their way. They won't listen to anything you tell them that you have to do. This gentleman who became friends with me and Brent also was he was never, ever a problem. So we obviously, he did it for a while, then that's when the rest of the states jumped in. But I can tell as a friend, I have never met somebody who plays that high who is just as nice as could ever be.
Mac, you stand with an undefeated team in the playoffs, and you go tomorrow and then on Saturday, and I got to imagine you're excited about two home games and the way the public has responded. How many mattresses do you think you've sold during this promotion?
We had total liability, we bet $10 million to win 75, and I figured after the Astros swept the Yankees, we'd have enough money left to go all the way through Thursday, taking the customers buying mattresses and get their money back. We had the biggest day in store history, 42 years on Sunday, and then Monday was a non-holiday Monday, not a Labor Day or anything like that. We did the same as we did Sunday, plus 25% more. So we blew the doors out, and we busted through the $75 million in liability. So we're through taking bets on the matches right now. But we've had a great time. The customers are excited, and they've got their fingers tightly crossed, game faces on, say, "Go Stros."
This is amazing. I got to ask, Mac, how did you come up with this at Gallery Furniture? When was it that this popped into your idea to have a promotion tied with a big bet like you have on the Astros this year?
I started doing it when the Texans played the Cowboys the first time in the NFL history in a regular season game after the Texans got in the league. And I did a promotion. So if the Texans beat the Cowboys, they were 14 points underdogs. You get your money back. The Texans were killing them at halftime. I had not laid off the bet, so I was about to have a heart attack, and then the Cowboys won at the end. But I figured out if that was the biggest sales weekend we ever had up to that point, this sports promotion works where the customers get their furniture, and then they only have an upside if their team wins, they get the money back. So it worked on that. It's worked on lots of things, and Jimmy has helped me out tremendously along the way.
You know what? Let me jump in here a second, because we were talking the other day about him coming on the show, and he said, "Jimmy, some places I see the game at the series at -$2, and you're at -160. Why the difference?" I said, "Well, first of all, what you're going to get." And I firmly believe this is you're going to get a ton of tickets between now and when they throw the ball out on Friday night, because people will want that $20 ticket as a souvenir and hope that you win the bet, so they have that ticket that they were part of the winning Obviously, someone winning a lot of money. So my hat's off to you, kid, and you're a national treasure. And one more thing, the midterms are next week. Why don't you run?
I'm afraid I'd win.
That's the truth. You would win. Mac, the thing that surprises people when I talk about you to them is none of them realize you were a running back for Darrell Royal during the heyday of the Texas Longhorns. Give me a little read about what you remember about those days in Austin when you were playing for the legend himself, Darrell Royal.
Yeah, I was a linebacker, and Brett and Jimmy and Dave. I was a great football player at the University of Texas when the Longhorns won 30 straight games, 2 consecutive national championships. I only had 2 small problems. Number 1, I was too slow. Number 2, I was too small. And the position I played was called the bench, but I was on the team.
That is fantastic, Mac. I did not know that you had that in your DNA there. That is a fantastic story. Mac,
there was a full-blooded American Indian athletic trainer there named Frank Medina, and he was tough as nails. He would say, ask, take, and give no quarter, and what are you saving it for, son? And those 2 statements have stayed with me my entire life. He helped me toughen up, and I'll always remember Frank Medina for really making a difference in my life.
That is absolutely amazing. I'm glad that stuck with you all those years. That is fantastic. If you win and the Astros win, Mac, you're on the verge of basically having the biggest winning bet ever recorded, and it would eclipse the payrolls of 10 Major League Baseball teams. You talk about going down in history, Mac. This would be historic.
Well, we hope it happens. The entire town is fired up over the Astros. Astros are a very unifying force in Houston. You know, we're divided and divisive like most cities are, Republicans, Democrats. But the Astros bring us all together in a sense of unity. And when Alvarez hit that home run against Seattle a couple of weeks ago, 7 million people, whether they were in the stadium or at home watching on television, gave a collective whoop. So we love the Astros in Houston. They're great for the community, and these bets are fun, and I appreciate all the help Jimmy's given me over the years, not only help in taking the bets, but in guiding me not to be quite so rambunctious.
Hey, Jim, will you go to the games in Philadelphia, too?
Yes, we're going to the games in Philadelphia. I'm looking forward to going up there, and they said the Philadelphia fans are tougher than the fans in New York. I'm going to wear my Astros gear and enjoy the city of brotherly love. If they get on me, I'll say, look, I got a big futures bet on the Eagles.
You hear that phone ringing in gallery furniture? And somebody else wants a mattress before they start game on. Listen, Mac, far be it from me to give you any betting advice, but the next time you bet a Super Bowl like you did the Bengals, bet upwards of $10 million. Take the points for half of it and the money line for the other half. All right, my friend? I felt for you that day. I felt for you because you could have had 4.5 for half of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the price is too high. You know, laying at 110 versus getting 170. And then it didn't help. There's 5 penalties in a row on the Bengals. But, you know, us gamblers got to get over it.
You're right.
You're a racehorse guy. You know what they say. Turn the page, baby. Turn the page.
That's right. And winning requires no explanation, said my friend Nick Zito.
And Jim, before I forget, I got to pass this on. Michael Gaughan, the owner of the South Point, told me to tell you, you're welcome anytime you and your family want to come and spend a weekend with us. So it's our pleasure.
I'll bring my daughter out there. She loves to gamble on dice. She's the craziest gambler ever, and she loves to play blackjack. She'll get a natural blackjack and double down on it. So I'll bring her out.
All right, kid.
Hey, Mattress Mack, we really appreciate you taking the time. We're going to be rooting on your Astros as well. And I know everybody there at the gallery store, they want to see you guys win as well. So we appreciate you. Good luck to the Stros.
Go
Y'all
Stros.
do a great job on the show. Good to see you, Jimmy and Brett. Hopefully we'll win this money. I'll come out and see you guys. And I want to get a big futures bet on World Cup.
The owner and operator of Gallery Furniture, there he is, Mattress Mack. Thank you, Mac. Absolutely a blast to have him join us here as we get ready for the World Series.